Oh, there we go. Man, I don't know what's going on, y'all. I don't know what's happening here. Hold on, now I need to add the thumbnail back. I apologize, dude. Streamlabs literally cut out on me like midstream, which is just perfect. Here, let me get this back up and running for you guys, and we'll be good to go. All right, well let's try this again. I think we're good. I think we're good now. But anyways, everybody, welcome back here. Hopefully, Streamlabs does not decide to cut out on me again. I ended up switching scenes, and it literally just did a hard crash, and it just completely wiped out. It's like really. So, anyways, welcome back. We're back here again. So we're still monitoring this tornado warning here. Like I said, right now in Louisiana, this includes Montgomery, Verda, and Wheeling here, in which right now. This is a radar indicated threat. But like I said a minute ago, the warning here does say that apparently 2 areas of rotation have been visible on radar. One is east of Montgomery and one is south. Now, this was updated at 5:28, and this was, about 6 minutes ago. So, once again, this is a radar indicated threat, meaning that radar's picked up rotation within these storms. As of now, there's still no confirmation of a tornado, but like I mentioned before, guys, we, tornado confirmed or not, radar indicated confirmed or not, we still need to be in our safe spots here. So be sure that if you guys are in this area, Verda, Montgomery, Wheeling, Louisiana, that you guys are in your safe spots. Okay, make sure that you are in, if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter, that's first place you want to go. But if you do not have that, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of a sturdy building here. So, let's see here. What's up, Mason? Good to see ya. Let's see here. What's up, Jerry? Good to see you as well. What's up, Brandy? What's up, Vienna? What's up, Chris? Let's see here. Where in Louisiana is the storm? My sister figure is in Zachary near Baton Rouge. So this is out here, like we mentioned, in Montgomery, Louisiana, Montgomery, as well as Wheeling and Verda. This is where the tornado warning is currently at here. It says locations impacted include Montgomery and Melrose. So also Melrose is included in this warning here as well. And, like we mentioned a minute ago, we do have multiple, let's see here, multiple reports or multiple areas of rotation, I should say. Let's see here. Brandy, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate it, my friend. That's really nice of you. Certainly did not have to do that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brandy. That means a lot to me. It really greatly appreciated. But it looks like the rotation now is up by Verda. So we got to keep a close eye on that. Once again, right now I do not see any debris signatures here, but we'll keep a close eye out there for that. And of course, like I said, we're starting to get a lot more activity popping off down here. We got a lot of scattered thunderstorm activity popping off right now. Let's see here. That was a crazy welcome back. Very rare to get my name right. Real. I know. I'm really bad at pronouncing people's names, so I really apologize. What's up, ATR? Good to see you. Is it 4 active tornado warnings? No, it's 1 active tornado warning with 2 areas of rotation within it. So we got 1 warning for 2 rotating areas. Let's see here. Kimmel says, hello, Andrew. Thank you for the updates. Of course, you're very welcome. Glad to be back, you guys. Let's see here. Andrew, if any tornadoes are coming for Indiana, let me know. I have enough going on. Checking to a big hotel somewhere out of town. I think you guys are going to be fine. Yeah, if we hop up north here, and we actually pull up the overall risk here today, which let's bring up our day 1 outlook. Yeah, so those areas are going to be absolutely fine. Today it's really just a threat for the deep south, like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. We are in the risk here for today. Tornado probability, we do have a 5% chance here for tornadoes in the brown, and a 2% chance across the green. Then, of course, our wind threat today, we have a big old 15% wind risk here. So on top of the tornado threat that we have, we also have potential for, damaging winds here, where we could see some gusts upwards of 60, maybe 70 mile an hour wind gusts within these storms here. And then, of course, lastly, we do actually have a 15% hail threat here as well where we actually could be seeing some hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So, on top of that, tornadoes, there is that wind and that hail threat here as well. Now, even on top of that, we do actually have a bit of a flooding threat here. We did actually have a flood watch here in effect a little bit ago, but some of these areas in the south were expected to see quite a bit of rain. We're talking 3 to 6 inches, and a little bit, more possibly in some localized area here. So definitely need to look out for that. Let's see here. Paul says South Mississippi have a tornado threat tonight. Yeah, so South Mississippi does have a tornado threat for tonight. That extends all the way down to the coast of Mississippi. Gulfport area is in a 5% tornado risk here for today. Let's see here. Pascagoula is in a 2% chance, and of course we have Jackson in the 5%, Columbus in the 5% here, Hattiesburg in the 5%. Out by Greenwood, we have that 2% chance. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of Mississippi is in the risk here, and there is potential for a couple spin up tornadoes here, which we got to look out there for. So, we'll definitely need you guys to be weather aware out there. Let's see, we're getting some Santa Ana winds here in Louisiana, or in LA, sorry, Los Angeles. I was going to say, but thank goodness nothing like that activity here in Louisiana. Absolutely. Brandy says, everyone please be sure you hit a like for Andrew. I appreciate it, Brandy. Thank you once again for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Kaylee says, listen, yesterday was wild. It was, yeah. I was glad we were actually able to do a little bit of coverage here yesterday as well. Yeah, we hopped on here for a while for you guys, and we were actually supposed to just be doing an update for today's severe weather event, but it turned out to be its own little coverage here. So that was something else, man. Yeah, we had like multiple confirmed tornadoes in Oklahoma yesterday. Kind of just out there by Oklahoma City, which was certainly quite wild. Yeah, I mean, it got pretty crazy. They actually ended up adding a 5% tornado risk here to yesterday's risk that we had in Oklahoma. Anyways, but yeah, hopping back over here at current radar, y'all. We got a nice little hook here. Actually, we have 2 hooks, if you can kind of see. We have one out by Verda, and we have one south of Montgomery here. And, like we mentioned, this is one tornado warning with 2 circulations on it. So there is 2 areas of rotation going on within this storm here. Yeah, look at the wording here. They said at 5:28 p.m. Central Time, a cluster of severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes was located near Montgomery. Usually it says producing a tornado. This says producing tornadoes, as in more than one. Or 60 miles east of Nacogdoches, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Or miles an, what did I say there? Miles an area? Miles an hour. 2 areas of rotation. I think that's probably where I got areas from. But 2 areas of rotation have been visible on radar, one east of Montgomery and one south of Montgomery, both moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. So, of course, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, void windows. If you do not have a basement or a storm shelter, just go to the central interior room on the lowest floor of your home. If you're in a trailer, it would be advised to go find a sturdier structure because, unfortunately, mobile homes do not provide very good protection against tornadoes. So it would be best if you can just go find a sturdier structure here is what we highly would recommend here. So multiple circulations on this one storm here. And this is, once again, in central Louisiana here. And the warning includes Montgomery, Verda, and Wheeling. And you can actually see a pretty decent little hook here, that we do got going on here. So that is that. How is Macomb looking tonight? What state is that in? Macomb, is that Mississippi, I'm assuming? Yeah, so Macomb is in the, let's see here, you guys are in the 5% here, the tornado risk here for today. So Macomb definitely is in the kind of the middle of the 5% here. So we do need to be weather aware today. 15% wind threat on top of that too, and then 5% hail threat. So yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys informed out in this area here as well. Like I said, we're not just focusing on Louisiana, we're focusing on the whole risk area here. So we'll be sure to let you guys know if there's any activity going on out there too. All right, so actually we just got some new activity here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm here. So this includes Atlanta and Winfield, also Joyce and, is that Tanny Hill? Is that how you say that? But you guys are now in a severe thunderstorm warning here. Looks like we get some high echoes coming here out by Atlanta, Louisiana here. We're talking like 64 dBz. I mean, that's pretty high in reflectivity here. Here, let's see. Yeah, they do got quarter hail on that warning there. Tornado possible tag. So we could see some 60 mile an hour wind gusts here, quarter hail, and maybe some tornadic activity. I mean, getting that it is coming from a storm that is tornadic here. But of course, you know, we still do have that tornado warning for Montgomery, Wheeling, and Verda. Let's see here. I was not expecting to be in the first tornado watch of 2020. That's pretty crazy. Twilight says, someone help me here. Where is the state? Where in the state is Montgomery, Louisiana? So Montgomery is right here in like central Louisiana. So you can see the state borders. So the white lines here. So this is the border of Louisiana, right? So then you go to the middle of the state. You zoom in. Montgomery's kind of in like the north central side of Louisiana, mostly central. So hopefully that helps out a bit. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll down here a little bit. Catch up with the chat here. Yeah, Mississippi. Gotcha. Let's see. March or April? Am I gonna? Hold on. March or April? I am gonna stay in a hotel out of town if tornado. Yeah, I mean, typically March, April is when you do start to see a little bit more activity up north here. But, yeah, especially April. April's usually pretty active up north there in the Ohio Valley. But, you know, we'll be covering a lot this year, guys. We'll be sure to keep you guys informed with, you know, all the weather going on here. All right, we got some good news, actually, y'all. They canceled that tornado warning. Okay, so people in Montgomery, so the tornado warning we were just talking about here, they finally canceled it. We still need to watch the storm, though, because remember, it still has some hooks on it, for one, so it could quickly redevelop into a tornadic cell. And not to mention, the severe thunderstorm warning still does have a tornado possible tag, okay? So, you know, it doesn't mean that the danger is over. It just means, you know, the imminent danger of a tornado is over. But, you know, the threat still remains within the cell. But like I said, tornado warning that was in effect for Montgomery, Verda, and Wheeling is now canceled. So you guys are good. I wouldn't recommend coming out of your shelter, though, quite yet, because we still have that severe thunderstorm warning. And, you know, once again, we could still see 60 mile an hour wind gusts on that storm, as well as quarter-sized hail. And, you know, of course, we do have that tornado possible tag here. It's still there. So, you know, it is certainly possible. We could get some of that activity here still popping up here. We'll have to keep a close eye on it. Let's see here. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it, dude. Twilight, thank you for that as well. Yeah, like I said, guys, thank you all for the support. You know, we love y'all. We just want to keep you guys weather aware and keep y'all prepared here. And, you know, from the way it looks here, we're definitely starting to pick up a bit in activity here. Now, unfortunately, the threat is going to persist overnight too. So we're going to have quite a bit of length worth of severe weather today. Here, let me see if I can bring up the models here for you guys. The site I usually use for models actually went down, unfortunately. Hopefully it's back up and running. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right, let's hop you guys over to models here. We'll take a peek at that. I'm going to bring up the HRRR, which is the short-range, high-res model that we typically like to use. Let's see here. All right, here we go. We'll go to mesoscale. We'll go HRRR. So I kind of want to show you guys what's going to be happening here. Here we go. We'll drop to. We'll actually drop to the 18 UTC run. This is the latest full run of the model. So, you know, the point at which we're at now, by the way, you guys can see the time here. It's in the bottom left where my cursor's at. You can see it says 7 p.m. Eastern on that particular frame. So, which is about where we're at right now. So you can see kind of where we're at. We have a bunch of scattered cells. You know, we've got kind of a line out here by Texas. And, of course, you know, it kind of goes through Alabama and whatnot. So later on down in time, as we continue working through, you can see, I mean, going into the overnight hours, and this is particularly 4 a.m. here, you can actually see how, the line still continues, to progress even into the overnight hours here. In which, there could be still some more severe weather, in which, that unfortunately still includes, the threat for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. So it's not going to be a hard cutoff during the evening time. Unfortunately, the threat will still remain, as we are still expected to still get some convection and some storm activity here, even overnight. So that's where that's obviously what I don't like. I mean, I don't like any tornadic activity, but especially at nighttime. Actually, right now the sun's starting to set over here, at least here in Florida, which is soon it will be for these areas here as well. And it's just not good. Having nighttime activity, it's just, first of all, I mean, it's just hard to see. Not to mention, people start to get ready for bed and stuff like that, and it's like, it's just really not good. So just be sure, if you're in the area here, especially the risk area that we've mentioned here in the dark green and the yellow areas here for today, just be sure that you guys, just have a way to receive warnings, have a way to get woken up, from the alert if they do come through. Like a weather radio, if you have one, make sure it's turned on, make sure it has fresh batteries. I mean, just make sure it's set properly. That way you do receive those warnings, because it is very important that you do. And like I said, the main threat here, the main areas here today is Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And of course, as we progress overnight, the front will continue pushing eastward, which will go through, like Mississippi and Alabama pretty late here. So, all right, well, let's hop back over to your radar. So we are watching one cell that is currently severe warned. It does have a hook on it. You can kind of see here, has a little bit of a hook. We have a little warm inflow notch trying to squeeze in there out there by Atlanta. This is not Georgia, by the way. This is Louisiana. So out by Atlanta, Louisiana, including Montgomery, Verda, Wheeling, Atlanta, of course, and Winfield, also Joyce and Tanny Hill. I think that's how you say that. This warning's in effect here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as quarter-sized hail here. So we'll definitely need you guys to be watching out for this storm. It was tornadic in the past. Remember, this is the one that had multiple circulations on it. And, like I said, these storms can go tornadic very quickly. So, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I'm just wanting you guys just to be aware and just be ready to take action in case of, warnings do get issued, because it's very important. We also got to watch out for some of these other cells. I mean, they don't really look like much right now, but, they could pop up to be, kind of similar to this guy. So we'll just have to see. Twilight says prayers for protection and everyone in the path of these storms. Absolutely. Calvin says, at least I have a no weather radio ready in Houston, Texas, where I live. Good. Glad to hear that. Yeah, weather radios they're lifesavers. They're really, really, really good to have. Just if you have one, be sure it's set on, because there is a switch on a lot of them that you can turn them on and off. Make sure they're turned on. That way you do get the proper warnings, because it's very, very important that you receive those warnings, because, I mean, if you're asleep, you're not going to be able to get those warnings here if you don't have it on, you need something loud to wake you up to let you know. Let's see here. James says, thank you for your coverage of this. Of course, you're very welcome. Yeah, I was definitely wanting to go live here for you guys today because of the system here. Like I said, we'll definitely be here for a while today to keep you guys informed here. All right, so I'm going to hop over here to this in particular scene here. So we're looking over here now at the satellite imagery. We have the radar up top left there, so you can continue watching that. But you can see where a lot of the heavier convection is here, where we have the yellows and the reds here. This is showing where some of the heaviest convection is ongoing here. So definitely, we're definitely getting some pretty good storm activity here. Is this proper timing? It says 18 UTC. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's well past 18 UTC here. Hold on, let me bring up my other Satellite view. Yeah, I think that's behind actually. I was gonna say it doesn't really look right. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're at 23 UTC. That's right. I was gonna say, yeah, something ain't adding up here, man. All right, well, let's hop over here sub-regional. We'll just kind of get a good view. But there you go. So you can kind of see where we're at now. You know, we still some of the heaviest convection over here by Mississippi. You know what? I'm just now realizing. No, this is up to date. It's just this isn't in UTC. This is just in military time. Yeah, because 1846 would be 646. Okay, yeah, I just got that. I just thought it was UTC. My bad. Not trying to confuse everybody here. But anyway, so yeah, no, this is up to date here. And yeah, you can see some of the heaviest convection out there by like Hattiesburg, Waynesboro area. So we've got to keep an eye out there for all that. All right, well, we're gonna hop back over here. Actually, I want to take a look at the models again with you guys. So let's hop on back over here. So, you know, like I was mentioning, we're going to have quite a bit of rainfall out of the system here too. So if we go over here, we'll do, let's see, total precipitation here. Just to kind of show you guys, you know, how much we're going to really be in for here. So this is from the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh model here. This was the 18 UTC run here. So this was several hours ago. This was ran, but this is the latest, you know, full run that they have. HRRR has it runs every hour, but I think every 6 hours it has one long run that goes out 2 days in advance. So we're looking at the latest long run, which is the 18 UTC. But anyways, but yeah, so you can see this big old streak of rain here. You know, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of rain, you know, across some of these regions, you know, like Louisiana, Mississippi, you know, cutting up through Alabama, northern Georgia, and out there by like western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee here. I mean, yeah, some of these areas could be seeing well over, you know, 3 to 5 inches of rain. You know, maybe even some, you know, local pockets, maybe just a little bit higher here. So, you know, definitely is going to be quite of a flooding concern here. And actually, speaking of flooding, I do want to look over at the flooding risk that we have here. Let's see. We'll pull up the WPC forecast. Bring you guys back over here. So this is kind of what they have on the latest forecast here. Let's do the day 1 here. Actually, you know what? That's precipitation. Where's the flooding? Dude, I haven't. Here we go. Flooding. This should be it, right? It's been so long since I've used this program. You know, for this specifically. You know what I might actually do? I'm just going to bring up the WPC alone. That'll probably be a better thing to do. Here we go. Oh, you know what? We actually have a moderate risk today. Yeah, look at that. We got a level 3 out of 4 flooding threat here for today. Which you can see that's a lot of south central Mississippi and west central Alabama here. Which the moderate, you know, that means at least a 40% chance of flooding every 25 miles of a point. So, you know, where you're at, say you're in the middle of the moderate, right? So that means that within a 25-mile radius around you, there is at least a 40% chance that flooding could occur in that area. That's essentially how that does work. Twilight says 1854 is Eastern time, subtract 1 hour. Yeah, it was just different format. It's not our, it's in 24-hour format, not 12-hour format. So that's why I was like, huh. I was immediately assuming it was UTC, which UTC is in that format always, so, or mostly. But anyways, so that's that. But yeah, definitely quite a significant flooding threat here for today too. So we can't forget about that either. All right, let's hop you guys back over to the radar here. Go and do a little bit of an update on everything. So right now we have 1 active severe thunderstorm warning here. This is in north central Louisiana. This includes the cities of Montgomery, Verda, Wheeling, Atlanta, Winfield, and Tanny Hill, I think it is, and also Joyce. whenever you hear Atlanta, this is not Atlanta, Georgia. I don't want to confuse anybody. This is Atlanta, Louisiana, which you guys can see. Here's the state of Louisiana right here. You can see the state borders once again. And this is towards the north central side of the state here. And, like I said, we're still going to watch out for some tornadic activity here on this cell here. Right now the main concern is 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter hail. So that is that. And of course, like I said, we do have a tornado possible text still on that storm here. So we'll still need to keep our eyes peeled out there for the storm. Tornadoes aren't in immediate danger on this storm right now. This storm has a history of rotating. But, like I said, right now the main concern is damaging winds, hail out of this storm here, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail. And, tornadoes cannot be ruled out, although it's not an immediate danger. If it wasn't immediate danger, then, of course, they'd have a tornado warning to replace it, but they don't. So, but still need to be ready to take action. Your sister figure is retired military. She taught me well. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you for your service, by the way, to your sister. But anyway, so that's that. Like I said, we also got to keep an eye on these other storms here. Because they're, they can kind of follow like their big brother over there. We're just tracking, so we got to keep a close eye on them. They don't seem to be anything crazy right now. They just seem like little popcorn cells. Just a couple little kernels here and there. But every once in a while we do have still some pretty heavy bands of rainfall. But we got some going through Mississippi right now. Let's hop over to Mobile radar, Alabama. Yeah, these ones don't really seem to be anything tornadic. They just look like a lot of heavy rain. A bunch of these will just accumulate a lot of heavy rainfall over time. So, that flooding threat is something that we really gotta look into as well. I think flooding is honestly going to be one of the big concerns here out of this event as well. So, not to mention, we have the tornado threat, we have the damaging wind threat, we have the hail threat, and of course, the flooding threat here. So, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Ooh, what's going on here? Apparently, we actually have some flooding reports coming through from Tyler, Texas. See, water overloop 323 near Trop Highway and University Street in Tyler, Texas. So we do have some flooding reports coming through here. Yeah, we definitely need to watch out for that. Here, let's bring you guys back over here. So we do have a mesoscale discussion here. It expires in 1 hour for heavy rainfall. This includes like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, cutting through Mississippi here. Including Jackson, Hattiesburg, and then it goes through central Alabama, between Birmingham and Montgomery. They did say summary, relatively narrow areas, single axis of heavy rain appear likely to maintain increased flash flooding potential into early evening. 2 to 4 inches in areas of flash flood. 2 to 4 inches and areas of flash flooding will be likely within portions of the corridor with locally higher rain totals possible. Yeah. Which you got to remember, a lot of it's already fallen, or some of it's already fallen. There's going to be a bit more here. What's up, Rob? Good to see you, dude. Saying, what's up, my brother? Keep missing your vids. Good to see you. Where do you think the biggest tornado threat is tonight? I'm in zip code Mississippi. Thanks for all you do, brother. Of course, dude. No problem. So the biggest tornado threat here is going to be between Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So where you do have the brown area here, this is where the Storm Prediction Center has the greatest tornado risk here. So this is where the biggest concern for tornadic activity is going to be. And since you said that you are in Mississippi, since you put your zip code, I'll go ahead and check for it, if you want. Yeah, I'll just do it anyways. So you're actually in the 5% chance. You're kind of between the 5 and the 2, but you're more in the 5 here. So yeah, we do need you to be watching out for the weather for tonight here essentially. But yeah, the biggest concern is going to be between Louisiana, kind of like central southern Louisiana, cutting through central southern Mississippi, and kind of like central Alabama here. But the tornado threat exists where you see the green and the brown. The green is just a 2% chance probability of tornadoes. Now, what that means, for an example, let's use Huntsville, Alabama, right? So within a 25-mile radius around Huntsville, there is a 2% chance that a tornado will drop within that 25-mile radius. And it's the same for the brown area. The only difference is the percentage, the probability, in which the brown has a 5% chance probability for tornadoes. So it's an increased probability by 1.5. So we're at a 5% chance here in the brown region. So as you can see, the brown area has a little bit greater probability for tornadic activity. And that's where the greatest threat is. Anyways, but it's good to see you, dude. Let's see here. We got a little rain in Carrollton. Gotcha. What state is that in, Carrollton? But like I mentioned, everybody, we also got to pay attention to the wind threat here as well. Oh, Carrollton, Texas. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we do have a little threat for Texas today here, including Houston, Austin, Tyler, just south of Dallas here. You can see, this is where there's Dallas up there. Houston's right here in the level 1 threat. But, there is even a little bit of the slight risk, actually, in eastern Texas, like Lufkin, in the College Station area. But anyways, like I was saying here, though, we do have a bit of a wind threat as well. So mostly, some of these storms will be able to produce gusty winds upwards of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, what that means is that these winds could peak up to 60 miles an hour. It does not mean it's going to be a consistent 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's not going to be constantly blowing 60 mile an hour. It means that the winds could top out at around 60 mile per hour. So a gust is peak winds that last only a couple of seconds. There's a specific parameter. I think it's like 2 seconds. It has to hold for a certain amount of time or whatever. But a wind gust is essentially the peak wind for a short period of time. So you have sustained winds, which is constant winds over a period of time, and then you have peak winds, which is the maximum wind gust, like the highest winds that it gets to in a short period of time, if that makes sense. But yeah, so the risk area here, this is mostly for the probability for damaging wind gusts, in which we could see gusts up to 60. Some occasions, I mean, in theory, we could have a couple storms maybe pushing 70, but more than likely, we're going to be just seeing a bunch of gusts, likely within the threshold of about 60 miles an hour or so. Let's see here. What's up, Mesomac? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. But then, of course, like I said, hopping over now to our hail threat, we do have, we do have ourselves a hail threat here as well, in which we do have a 15% risk that was actually recently added. Today, I should say. Yesterday it wasn't here, but they did actually add the 15% risk here. So that means that we have an increased probability for hail. Now, hail size for today, we're not going to be seeing any likely monster hail or anything like that, but we could see some hail, possibly between 1 and maybe 2 inches, in diameter here. It is going to be a good possibility, which, is enough to cause some problems and stuff like that. So we'll definitely, also need to look out for that. So really it's tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, and of course, the flooding concern there too. All right, so hopping back over to SAT here. Let's go ahead and see. So, a bunch of scattered convection, a bunch of popcorn convection going off right now. Some of the heaviest convection, it looks like it's out there by Mississippi right now, by like Waynesboro, Hattiesburg area. Let's see here. What's my thoughts on when this is will get going? Honestly, I mean, models are kind of iffy, with the timing and everything. It just seems like it's just a big blob of convection, throughout the day today, going into tomorrow. Um, I mean, the models really showed a lot of the activity happening like this evening, like now. Um, right now we have one severe thunderstorm warning. I mean, obviously things could pop off here at any moment, which we're watching for. But it's really hard to tell. It really is. Here, let me actually bring up the models here. We'll look and see kind of what the models suggest here, like the HRRR again. So here's the 18 UTC run here. So it kind of did show, a bunch of just kind of scattered convection. Some mixed modes here. Like we got a linear line over to the west. We got some embedded stuff over here up north, and we got a little bit of multicellular storms down south. It's just really kind of one big blob mess. Right now, not hopefully, but right now is kind of when the models are really showing a lot of the activity popping through. And the mode's going to kind of change as we push into the overnight hours here. I mean, you could see here, once we hit midnight and beyond, it's at that point kind of linear and just kind of some embedded cells for the most part. It's just, yeah, it's just really hard to tell, when the most active part is. But it looks like a lot of the convection will really start to kind of fade out here, by kind of tomorrow afternoon. Now, we do have a threat tomorrow that lingers in for severe weather. But at that point in time, a lot of the instability, a lot of the fuel in the atmosphere for these storms will definitely kind of be running thin, around that time here. Anyways, let's see here. Twilight sounds good. Let's see here. Free Thinking says, Andrew's the best. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Choga. I appreciate it as well. See here. Thank you for taking the time explain different types of wind. I didn't know this before. It's always good to learn and have a better understanding of weather. Of course, yeah, it's very important. Whenever people hear like 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's going to be constantly 60." No, I mean it just means that the max winds could peak. We could have a few second bursts of winds up to 60. Now that's still a big problem, of course. But it's not like a hurricane where it's constant winds. Usually, it's it's a little bit different. It's definitely good to know the differences between the two. Twilight says, correct free thinking. I'd rather watch Drew than anyone else. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Mizamet says, lower level jet should be increasing soon. Here, let me actually bring up the models again here. I do want to pull up the 850 millibar jet. Let's see. Do upper air and wind 850 millibars. Here we go. So we'll bring that up here. There we go. We'll overlay the convection here. So it looks like, we have a lower level jet of about 25, 30 knots or so. Which, I mean, isn't anything super significant. I mean, yeah, we have about a 30 knot lower level jet, it looks like, possibly out there by like Louisiana. Kind of where that tornadic cell we actually just had was. Just not too long ago. Here, you know what would probably be a good idea? Let me actually bring up the meso analysis. See, I gotta get used to getting back in storm mode, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since we did like full coverage like this, man. It's crazy. Between a lot of renovation. If you guys are wondering why I haven't been here recently, I have a lot of renovations. You might notice the red wall behind me and how that's different. Long story. This place got completely destroyed with water damage, and we had to replace everything. So I haven't been able to stream, so I apologize. Anyways, but yeah, hopping back over here. Let me switch over back to here. We'll bring up the meso analysis. So, instability-wise, yeah, we have a pretty good amount of fuel, between eastern Texas going into Louisiana. I mean, we're talking some pockets of like over 2,000 mixed layer Cape here. So pretty good amount of fuel. you can see where we do have a pocket of stronger wind shear in like lower Louisiana. This is where we have that lower level jet of about 30 knots. Also extends into like Mississippi, southern Mississippi, southwest Alabama here. So that contributes to, good structural organization, which kinematics, the wind shear is really important for storm organization. There's not much veering though, for what I'm noticing. It seems like it's mostly flowing in the same direction, throughout the altitude. So here's mid-level flow. This is a 500 millibar height, which is correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's about 20,000 feet up. In which we have a 50 knot barb going northeast here. So 50 knots at 20,000 feet. And I think 850 is at around 5,000 feet or so. So then we drop down, and the wind direction's kind of similar. For one of those big bad setups, you'd really want the lower level winds to be kind of going perpendicular to the mid-level flow. But hey, you know what though? Sometimes it can still happen, and I mean, it's nothing absurd, but it's enough to get the job done. It's certainly enough to cause some tornadic activity and stuff. Anyways, let's see here. Janice says, "Hi, Andrew. Hope you're okay." I'm doing good. Hopefully, you're doing well yourself. Thank you for that. Everything says you're doing great, Andrew. Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. Drew says, "Will Augusta, Georgia get tornadoes tomorrow?" So you're in a dark green risk. So you're in a marginal here for tomorrow. Okay. Well, let me look. So you said you're in Augusta. So pulling up the day 2 outlook here. Let's get rid of satellite for a minute. Actually, Augusta is not in the severe weather risk area. So you can actually see you are in the light green area, which that is the general thunderstorm risk. So that just means, hey, a few booms of thunder possible. Nothing severe is expected. Excuse me. Nothing severe is expected, but, a few rumbles of thunder can't be ruled out, essentially. So, yeah, could see a few lightning flashes, a little bit of storm activity. But generally speaking, no, we're not expecting any severe weather here. And day 3 here, day after tomorrow, we don't have anything at all. Not even a thunderstorm risk as of right now. So you're gonna be fine. It'll be all right out there. Yeah, the threat's gonna be mostly west of you, and the reason why, you're probably wondering why you're not getting it while everybody else west of you is. The main reason is because the fuel for these storms dies out. We start to lose a lot of that convection, that convective energy. We call this CAPE, convective available potential energy. This is just the amount of fuel that's in the atmosphere to, get these storms going, essentially. Consider it a gas, like a gas tank in your car. If you don't have any gas, you're not gonna get nowhere. Think of the engine as the wind shear, kind of the strong winds throughout the atmosphere, which organizes the storms and stuff. But yeah, the instability is kind of like the fuel, essentially. But the fuel runs thin once it gets over there by you. It's all right, Janice. It's totally fine. It's just been a lot, so I haven't really been able to fully be able to get down and stream like we have typically, because usually I have a lot of people coming in and out here just working and repairing a bunch of stuff. So, anyways, what's up, Haley? Good to see you. Let's see here. Drew says, see, early it was in the dark green. See, my bad. I guess it changed. No, you're good. You're good, Drew. It's why it's important to check. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask me. But yeah, the good news is that you are going to be outside of that threat. You are. All right, let's take a moment to hop back to radar, guys. Let's go ahead and show you all what's going on right now. So right at the moment, we have one severe thunderstorm warning, which this is in effect for north central Louisiana. This includes Winfield, Atlanta, Verda, kind of right there by Tanny Hill as well. This in particular severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as quarter-size hail. So we do have a tornado possible tag on that storm too. Once again, does not mean that there's an immediate danger for a tornado. It just means, hey, tornadoes could happen with this storm. If there was an immediate problem, if there was a danger of a tornado forming, at that point they would put a tornado warning. Remember, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This is actually mostly warned just for the winds and the hail, which the hazard you can see here is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Free Thinking says, Andrew, can I sleep tonight or should I stay up? You're in 31204. Gotcha. You're in Macon, right? I remember. Let's hop on back over here. So Macon is. Oh, speaking of, I forgot to tell you guys. Tomorrow they added a slight risk here to the risk. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But for you in Macon, so we do have a level 1 severe weather threat. You said tonight you should be good. I think the storms are going to be popping off tomorrow afternoon mostly. Yeah, so this is throughout tonight. You can see that Macon's going to be fairly clear. You're right here. So overnight you're going to be relatively good. It looks like the line will either roll in A in the late morning or B in the early afternoon. I don't trust models precisely enough to show you the exact time that this is showing. I mean, this shows 10 a.m. for that in particular frame. It shows like the line going over you right around 1 p.m. or so, but that could oscillate, with the different models and different runs and stuff like that. So I'd just say late morning, early afternoon. But yeah, you should be fine. Haley, no, you're not really expecting any severe weather. Midwest is pretty calm. Not really much going on in the Midwest here. This is mostly a deep south event, which believe it or not is fairly common during the winter time. I mean, yeah, we can have severe weather, but yeah, usually it's in the deep south during this time of the year. Let's see here. Nancy says, are we going to have any bad weather in Greenfield, Ohio today? Thanks. Yeah, no problem. So Ohio's actually going to be pretty good. We have no risk here for any severe weather or anything like that in Ohio. Even the thunderstorm risk is out of the state here. The potential for storms goes all the way up to West Virginia, in which not expected to be severe storms, but that's where the storm threat ends. But yeah, Ohio should be pretty good. We actually have a low pressure system that rolled off of Michigan here earlier today. The winds were probably pretty windy. I'm sure you probably noticed that, but they should be dying down by now, given that isobar gradient is widening, meaning that the drop in pressure is starting to drop off over a larger distance, making the wind flow a lot slower. So you might notice that that the winds probably should start to die down here soon, compared to what they were in the past earlier. You're welcome, Free Thinking. No problem. No problem at all. You're welcome, Haley. Yeah, I got you guys. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Anyways. All right, so we're actually going to hop back over here. I do want to bring you guys back over here to the main radar. So like we mentioned, guys, right now, we do have this one severe thunderstorm warning here still. Like I said, this was actually that tornadic cell that we were watching here in the beginning of the stream. They still do have a tornado possible tag on that. So we got to look out for... We got to watch it closely, okay? That's just, once again, doesn't mean an immediate danger for tornadoes, but it means that tornadoes can develop out of the storm, possibly. Right now, the main concern of the cell is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so potential gusts, max winds peaking up to 60 for a short period of time, and quarter-size hail, which we could see, hail the size of quarters, essentially. So, once you hit that threshold of quarter-size hail, or which is 1 inch in diameter, once you hit that threshold and greater, that's where it's classified as severe hail. That's where you could really start to see some damage from hail, especially if it's mixed in with those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I'm not sure the terminal velocity on a quarter-size hailstone. Let me look it up, actually. Quarter-size hail terminal. So if you don't know what terminal velocity is, maximum wind speed, the maximum speed of a certain object based off of its mass and volume. So it looks like quarter size apparently has terminal velocity of 9 to 25 miles per hour, which doesn't seem like a whole lot. I mean, it would hurt. Trust me, it don't feel good. I've been hit by hail like that before. It's It sucks, but it's not dangerous to you. But still, I wouldn't be out in it anyways. Wouldn't definitely not recommend it. But yeah, once you start getting into the hail size of like, golf ball and greater, which we're thankfully not expected to see today. But once you start getting into that territory, the terminal velocity increases. It gets, not only does it have more mass, but it's also falling at faster velocities, which makes it really have a lot of energy. It's crazy. Yeah, hail can be really destructive. A little bit of a fun fact for you guys. I don't know if y'all knew this. Up in North Dakota, I think it was in the year 2000. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a 8-inch hailstone that fell, which is about equivalent to a bowling ball. Could you imagine a bowling ball chunk of ice falling from the sky? The amount of energy that would... I couldn't even imagine. You guys know how heavy ice is, too, especially if you've, shoveled snow and stuff like that. You know how heavy ice is. I grew up north. I know how heavy ice is. It's not light stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, really packs a punch. Let's see. Sun says it hurts. Can confirm. Let's see here. I've had to hike it in a couple miles. Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's... So you get it. Another thing is sand on a beach during a tropical storm or a hurricane. Don't go there during a big windstorm. It sucks. It's literally you get sandblasted. I mean, literally. It's terrible. It's just stuff you don't think about, and then you go there, and then you realize it's like, oh my gosh, this hurts. It's terrible. Anyways, but hopping back here. Like I said, we got one severe warning right now popping through. This is in central Louisiana. This includes Joyce, Winfield, kind of pulling out of Atlanta. I mean, there's more storms to come behind it, but we got that severe thunderstorm warning here. Tornado possible tag, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and quarter-size hail potential on that one. Now the other storms, they're just kind of storming along. Just kind of doing their own little thing. Got a few little pop-up chicken nugget storms. Got some popcorn kernels down by southern Mississippi here. Not really anything severe in these areas right now, but given the environment, it's certainly capable of it. Just a bunch of these little multicellular. So there's different classifications of storm structure or storm modes. You got linear, which is a straight line of storms, like a squall line, essentially. You have supercellular, which can be embedded into squall lines. I don't want to make it too complicated. But and then there's multicellular. There's another mode that I'm forgetting. It's just I can't think of it off the top of my head. If you guys know it, let me know. You have multicellular. You have, is it single cell? Single cell, multicell, linear, super, something like that. It's been a minute. I need to open up my old books. Let's see. Your son says, let's see here. No, thank you. Even if it's just super windy, it hurts. Can I imagine during a storm? Oh yeah, it's terrible. What's up, Kara? Good to see you. Say it might be on the ground. It's hard to tell. Strong velocities in the past few storms. I don't think it's on the ground. Although I will tell you, we don't really have the best radar coverage with this storm here. I mean, it's actually better than it was earlier, but yeah, I don't think it's on the ground. Let's check the other radar. Let's check on Shreveport. I mean, it's not even tornado warned, so. Ooh, you know what? This radar is picking up something else. I will mind you, though, this is at 6,300 feet up. Looks like something up there. Definitely rotating in the lower mid-levels here. But yeah, this is around almost 7,000 feet up. So a lot can happen between 7,000 feet and surface. But, like I said, I mean, this thing is a supercell. I mean, it is a supercell classifies as a rotating storm. Storm which holds rotation, in which this storm does. Once again, this thing was actually warned a while back for being or was tornado warned here. It actually had more than one circulation on it. It still looks like it's got a little bit of rotation to it. So I'm saying we got to still keep an eye on the storm here. Let's see here. Carrot says, by the way, how's my day going? It's going good. It's going all right. It's been a long day, though. A lot of content-wise. I have another channel I'm running, too, just for me doing whatever. I've been pretty busy today, actually. I woke up this morning. I did a video on my other channel. I streamed on my other channel. And I streamed on this channel, and now I'm streaming again on this channel. So I've been pretty busy today, but it's been good. What's up, Green? Good to see ya. Let's see. You're impressed by how long that series of warnings lasted? What, those tornado warnings? Yeah, they were there for a while. They were there for a while. Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on this. Let's see. Do we have any other? Oh, you know what? We really need a radar out by like Lake Providence. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this properly. Here, let me bring up my pin here so I can kind of point this out for you guys. So we have a radar right here, right? We have a radar. Oh, this is a terminal radar. We're not going to count that. Their radius is like 50 miles or something like that. We have a radar up there in Memphis. We got another one here in Little Rock. We got the Shreveport radar. We got one over here. And we got one down here. Now, these storms, it's going this way. And what do you notice? There's a big old radar hole right where these storms are going. So what that means is that the beams that the radars are sending out is going to be echoing off the upper levels of the storm, which for tornadoes, they're mostly a surface phenomenon, or near surface phenomenon, which as the echo goes farther, its quality as it comes back is lower and stuff like that. So it sucks. Bottom line, it's harder to see the storm the further it goes away from the radar. And then you got other phenomenons and stuff like that, like refraction and all that mess. Let's see here. Remember a chaser today caught a nice stovepipe funnel that didn't manage to get down. Where was that at? Louisiana, maybe? Let's see here. Someone says, with all the convection this area gets, you think they'd fix it? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. We really, really need a radar out here. I've done so many coverages in this area, in the past for, many years. We've been doing this on the channel for probably 5 years at this point. But, dude, there's been so many coverages that we've done in this area, and we've needed a radar out there because of the tornadoes. It seems like we get quite a bit of activity in this area, so absolutely. Also applies to Colorado, parts of Oklahoma. Colorado is very mountainous, especially the western state. It's very hard to, for mountainous areas to have radar because the quality is pretty poor. Because the beam usually hits the mountainsides, which can't pierce through the mountain, unfortunately. Let's see. Iowa, Nebraska. Yeah, there's quite a few radar holes, unfortunately. Radars ain't cheap though. They really are not. I wonder how much one of those things costs. I'm curious. Which does. By the way, I wouldn't be doing this if this was like a big tornadic activity right now. Matter of fact, the one severe thunderstorm warning we just had got canceled. So the one for Winfield in Atlanta, Louisiana, now severe thunderstorm warning is canceled. So now we're just kind of on hangout mode, and now I'm really curious how much they cost. So they're called WSR 88Ds, I believe. Weather surveillance radar 88 Doppler. Cost. I wonder how much they cost here. It says over $1 million. I thought it would be more than that. That's from AI, though. I don't know. I'd say... Okay, here we go. Completed 100... Hold on. Radar Operations Center completed 150... No, that's a service life extension. Never mind. I'm seeing all kinds of different things. I see like 20 million. Anyways, millions of dollars. I don't think it costs 8 million. I think it's way more than that. Definitely way more than that. Should have a fundraiser. What, for the government? Have a NW106 fundraise for more radars? I don't think that would go very well. Oh my goodness. It's not like they don't have the money. They could figure it out. At that point, it gets political, which we're not getting into in this stream. This is not a political channel, so don't you dare. I'm not even going to start that. It's off topic, but I saw 4 ambulances for placement time. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, not good at all. See, radar holes in the planes are the worst because they're places you'd expect to see more radars. Yeah, it's true. There's not a whole lot of people, who live in the. I mean, there's a handful of people who live in the plains, but it's pretty open, so I could see why some, why there could be some radar holes in less populated areas, but like storm chasers and stuff, it's very important. Which I wouldn't want to chase in an area that doesn't have good radar coverage, honestly. Let's see here. Haley, there is absolutely no way of knowing if we're even going to have a high risk at all this year. So can't really tell you. I wish I was I wish I had powers so that I could figure out this stuff, but I don't. Nobody knows. Let's see here. Yeah, son, you get it. You get it. All right. Anyways, everybody. So current update on everything here. Like I said, we're just kind of hanging out. We're just kind of chilling, watching the storms right now. If they do something, they do something, and we'll talk about it. But right now it's just kind of a bunch of scattered convection. In my opinion, it's too early to judge right now the system, but in my opinion, it's kind of starting off slow. But it could be. I mean, this time of the year, I mean, some events they're usually like this, or they can be like this. It's more common, I believe. But like I said, the threat does continue overnight as well. So yeah, Carrot. It's just we can't really predict like how many high risk or how many hurricanes exactly we're gonna have or stuff like that. It's yeah. I wish we got to the point where we could do that. Who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Let's see here. Sun says, do we think that they'll issue a watch? I don't even think they have a mesoscale discussion out for it. Here, let me check, actually. I don't think we have any mesoscale discussions here. Let me bring up SPC. We have one for flooding concerns, or we did. Yeah, no, there's not even a mesoscale discussion even considering a watch right now. So I guess we'll see. I mean, right now they're not considering it. Probably not, honestly. I mean, anytime soon, I should say. Probably not, but I mean, who knows? That could change in the future. We'll have to see. All right, let's actually go into models here. We're gonna switch on back over here to the weather models here. So, this event that we're kind of in right now, we're right around 8 o'clock. So lower level wind shear is roughly about 25-30 knots here, which we could actually see that with the meso analysis here. You can see in the lower atmosphere we have this pocket 25 knot wind shear, which, I mean, like I said, is it a really strong lower level jet? I'd consider it moderate, kind of. Really when you have wind shear like 40, 50 knots or greater, that's when it really becomes a significant problem. If other conditions are met, like instability, kinematics and stuff like that. It's 25 knots is enough to get the job done, but it's not a super crazy amount of wind shear, lower level winds. It exists, and it is enough to produce tornadic activity, yes. Mid-level flow is a little bit better, though. We're about 50, 55 knots or so over there, kind of by Louisiana here, where a lot of that lower level shear is. Right now, the most potent part of the atmosphere right now appears to be over Louisiana and southern Mississippi, which is kind of where those severe storms were popping off here. We've been watching. Let's see here. Josh says they did earlier today around 5:30. They were talking about issuing a tornado watch going into the night hours. Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, the threat does go into the overnight hours here. Here, let me bring you guys back over to models here. We'll look at the instability and stuff too. Let's bring up our cape. Thermodynamics. We'll do mixed layer cape, and we'll turn off the fill for the wind shear. So kind of see where a lot of the fuel is, right? So the yellowish color, that's where a lot of the instability or the fuel is for these storms here. So we work our way down in time here. Let me actually overlay the radar on top. There we go. So, you know, you can see all the instability. The fuel is in the atmosphere, in which, you know, that's going to be in place, you know, well throughout the overnight hours here too. You can see this is right around 2 a.m. About 2 a.m. or so, you can see a lot of the fuel is going to be really deep down on the Gulf Coast, out by Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama here. And you can see, I mean, from the HRRR, we still have quite a bit of convection going on here. You know, possibly even some heavy convection. Matter of fact, the HRRR actually shows the lower level kinematics actually increasing, lower level wind shear. It shows 850 millibar winds, about 40 knots actually, which that's better than what it is now actually, which is really, really interesting. At that point in time, it seems like it's mostly going to be linear, you know, mostly a long line of storms here, which can be kind of bad because you can have, like, I mean, first of all, you know, it's going to be nighttime, so it's going to be hard to see as it is, but not to mention, you know, these embedded supercells, you know, into the squall line, you know, the long line of storms. There's a lot of really heavy precipitation going on, in which there's such thing called a rain-wrapped tornado. So if we get tornadoes overnight in these lines, it could become literally wrapped in rain, making it hard to see. I mean, during the daytime, rain-wrapped tornadoes are impossible to see sometimes. Sometimes you just can't even see them, yet alone at nighttime. Super dangerous. And that's what I'm not really looking forward to. Hopefully everything goes okay tonight. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully the whole thing just busts, which I really hope so. But I mean, yeah, you can see overnight the instability does continue into Mississippi, Alabama here. This is 6 a.m. here. You can still see the line going pretty strong. Still got a pretty decent amount of instability here. Lower level winds are pretty strong. I'm going to overlay our mid-level flow here as well. Let me switch this over here. We'll do 500 millibar here. We'll bring that up as well. Yeah, so you can see the triangle. That's our flag here. This is the upper level winds. This is about 50 knots northeasterly. So there's a little bit of veering going on here. So our lower level winds are going like this, in this direction. And our mid-level winds are kind of going like in that direction. So there is a change in wind direction with altitude. And, you know, also an increase in wind speed with altitude as well. Which, you know, given the directional change, given the wind speed change, that could allow for, you know, potential rotation within some of these storms here. Kinematics is very important for storm structure, and ultimately what the storm's goal is. You know, it's really wind shear really determines on what the storm's going to do essentially. You know, if you have a lot of strong winds pointing in the same direction, usually it's a linear system. Usually it could just be like a damaging wind event, you know, stuff like that. Where you really have the veering going on, that's when it could really introduce like a tornadic concern. Oh, really? Did they put a new mesoscale discussion out? Oh, buddy. Let's check it out. Let me see. I don't see it. It might take a minute to pop up. Yeah, usually the official SPC page is a little bit slow. 2 minutes ago, gotcha. Don't spoil it yet. Don't spoil it. Don't let us know. We're gonna have to figure this out together. Oh, there we go. Ooh, it's pretty spicy. Oh, buddy. Watch likely. That means at least 60%. Oh, buddy. Here, let me bring up this. Look at that. So severe potential. Watch likely. I can't read that. Can I open image in new tab? No, it's so low resolution. Come on. The previews are killing me, dude. I can't make out that. This isn't 1998. Oh my gosh, dude. All I gotta say is that their site better hurry up, man. Let's see here. Come on. You know what? Let's try weather-wise. Actually, yeah, that's better. that actually tells us. All right, let's see here. So, better skill discussion number 16. Wow, they put a heavy one on that. 80% chance. 80% chance of the watch being issued. Holy cow! So severe potential. Watch likely. Goodness. Let's see. What are the impacts? Oh, come on, bro. Really? I need Pro to be able to read that. Well, it says here peak hail size between 1 to 1.75 inch. So that's quarter size to golf ball size hail. Peak wind gusts is 55 to 70 miles an hour. Which, yeah, I mean, pretty much what we said. You know, mostly 60 mile an hour wind gusts could see some scenarios upwards of 70. Peak tornado intensity 100 to 130 miles an hour. So pretty low end. You know, the good news, while yes, we do have a tornado threat, and while that is a problem, the if we did achieve tornadoes, you know, if we did get tornadoes, there is a good chance that they would not likely be anything significant, you know, anything over EF2 or greater. Now, nature's crazy. Sometimes you can have, like, you know, some things that happen when you don't expect them to happen. But for the majority, more than likely, the system would only produce tornadoes, likely EF0, EF2-ish. So, but there is no hard stop on that for sure either. That's just simply based off of what we know, you know, like the thermodynamics, you know, the instability in the atmosphere, lapse rates, junk like that. And also, like, you know, the kinematics, of course, you know, the wind shear, how strong it is at certain levels of the atmosphere, and storm mode, and where the convection's at. All this plays. It's just, it's a lot to consider, which is very which makes me really thankful we have models, because it does all the calculating for us pretty much, you know. But yeah, I mean, old meteorologists before computers were a thing, they used to have to do a lot by hand, you know, which yeah, it was way more inaccurate. It was way more difficult. That's why we're very thankful for computers, because they really help us out. You know, I was actually explaining to a friend earlier. It's like computers do the work for us, you know, in generating the model data, and the forecasters go through that data and, you know, like I kind of say, you know, the forecasters go through the data and pick what fits, what doesn't. So what I always tell you guys, the best thing to do when looking at weather models, figure out what the models agree on. Okay, so you have one model that says this will happen, say another model says this other thing would happen. They both cancel out. I mean, you kind of got to figure out where they both agree, essentially. You know, what they both agree on, you keep. What they disagree on, you throw away. Anyways. Physics is fun. I love physics, but it's, yeah, it can be a lot. It really can. Let's see here. That's fair, Josh. Haley says that I covered the EF2 in 2019 now. I see. I think I had another channel where I would like every once in a like once in a blue moon, maybe once a year, would like hop on and just do a quick little live stream. It wasn't supposed to be anything like full on like this channel is. But no, I did not cover that one. Well, son, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like I was saying, is a lot of the models do the math now. That's computers are way better at doing the math. They can perform a lot more calculations at quicker paces than humans ever could. It's that's what I'm saying. Computers play a significant role in forecasting weather. I mean, it's not everything. You can't fully go off of models themselves. You need to look at them as a tool. They're a tool to use to forecast, but there's just a lot that goes into it. There really is. Anyways. All right, let's hop back to radar here. Let's see what's going on right now. So we currently do not actually have any tornado warnings or any severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Son, thank you so much for becoming a tropical stormer. Appreciate it, my friend. That's greatly appreciated. You did not have to do that. Thank you. Appreciate it, son. But yeah, that one severe storm that we had is it's been gone for a while. It's still, we still got to watch that line there, but unfortunately, like we were mentioning earlier, it's kind of rolling into a radar dead zone, essentially. How did I get that membership thing to work? What do you mean? On the channel? It's monetization. Let's see. You're taking an AP Physics class. Oh, good luck. Yeah, that's rough. You got it though, dude. Just keep at it. Get some help if you need to. Never just not ask for help. Asking for help is everything. It's very, very important. Yeah, son, absolutely. Absolutely. Technology can be used for good and bad things. It can. I could tell you so many things. It's like it can be bad for many, 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 many things, but it could also be good. And weather is one of the things it's actually good for. Same thing like medical. It's good for medicine and all kinds of stuff, but it can also be used for bad too, as a lot of us well know. Anyways, and by the way, if you guys are wondering why we're ranting a lot in this stream, it's really because we're just chilling and kind of waiting to see, wait for something to happen. You guys know that meme of that one dude like with a stick poking at something, saying, "Come on, do something." That's kind of what I'm doing right now to this storm. It's like kind of waiting for it to happen. Anyways, Josh I'm not sure. You're gonna have to look it up. YouTube, they have a certain threshold that you gotta meet. I think it's like 3 million views on shorts, or like 5,000 hours or something like that. I don't know. You just need to look it up. So you feel like it's about to pop off? I almost said hopefully, but I really don't hope it does. I say hopefully in the sense that we could actually look at something interesting, but I don't want to hopefully do that because I don't want anything to happen. But also as a storm lover, it's cool to watch storms happen, so it's like mixed feelings. I get a lot of mixed feelings when tracking weather, man. It's like, yes, it's cool. I do want to see some cool stuff, but it's also like, people are at risk. That's why it's the best to have severe weather in like the open plains where there's like not many people there. That's when severe weather is the best. Yeah, absolutely, son. The thing is, too, about the South is that it's very different than the plains, because in the South, there's a lot more trees. There is a lot more trees, more winding roads, and it's very dangerous to storm chase in the South because there's there's not a lot of open. You know, it's usually, like I said, just a lot of trees, which really can block off, you know, your sight of vision. Just sight of vision. That's a good one. I don't know where I was going with that. But you can kind of see what I'm saying though. You know, while the plains, it's like it's wide open. You know, you can see for miles ahead of you. But down here, I mean, it's like, I mean, you got some open spaces, but nothing like the plains. I mean, the plains are just flat everywhere. So, yep, I live here, but also have half Midwesterner, so very familiar with tornadoes. Oh yeah, you get it. See here, not interested in having them down here at all. Yeah, I get it for sure. You know, they're cool to see like when they're not in immediate danger. You know, if you're out in the plains, you're in a safe distance, and yeah, then let it happen. It's cool, it's beautiful, but it can also be really bad. You know, in populated areas. I mean, the South, very populated. Plains, some areas are populated. You know, you got some big cities like Kansas. I mean, Kansas itself is pretty unpopulated, but then you got places like Topeka, Wichita. You know, they're pretty populated. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, right now we don't have any tornado warnings. Thankfully, as of right now, that could obviously change, which is kind of why we're here. We're kind of waiting to see if anything happens, but no active tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We're at an open slate. We do have a lot of flash flood warnings going on right now, though, as you can see through Mississippi and Texas. But other than that, that's that. It's that high precip that gives me. Oh yeah, for sure. What's up, Theodore? Good to see you. Yeah, you should, Josh. That'd be cool. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go over the risk area here. We haven't done that in a while. So once again, everybody, we have a level 2 What? We have a level 2 risk. I don't know what I was going to say there. Level 2 risk here for severe weather for today, which we do have Eastern Texas included. We have Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So this is a level 2 threat here for today, in which we do have ourselves a 5% chance for tornadoes. We have ourselves a 15% chance for damaging winds, and we have ourselves actually a 15% chance for hail too. They actually increased that probability, like we were mentioning here, since yesterday. I mean, yesterday we did have just a 5%, but they did increase that to a 15% chance. So that has been increased. The good news is that, like I said, though, it's not significant. It's not classified as a significant risk, which, you know, that would be the hatch area and stuff like that. So, anyways. But yeah, then like I said, also on top of that, we also have, you know, not just a tornado concern, damaging wind concern, hail concern, but we also have a flooding concern as well. Here, let's actually hop back to the models here. We'll clear that. We'll look at the total precipitation here. Let's see here. We'll do total precip. So yeah, definitely going to get quite a heavy streak here. I mean, you can see just how much rain we're talking here through a lot of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama here, going up into like northern Georgia, western North Carolina, and such. You know, definitely quite a bit of rainfall, which we're going to be talking a good 3 to 5 inches for a lot of the people out here within the heavy streak here. But we could actually see some heavier totals, you know, some localized spots, maybe even up to 6 or so inches. So definitely could be quite a bit. Oh, good Lord, why can't that be snow? If that was snow, that would be ridiculous. So you got different snow ratios. For wet snow, typically we use the 10-to-1 ratio, meaning that every inch of rain you get is 10 inches of snow. Okay, so imagine 7 inches. What would that be? 70 inches of snow. That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, that would be definitely quite a bit. Yeah, well, that would be quite a significant storm. You realize how damaging that would be, though? I mean, for people down in the south, it's like that. That would be wild. Down this south, it's people aren't really as experienced in driving in snow and stuff. Like the Upper Peninsula last month. Wait, huh? Are you talking about last year or last month? Because last year last January, actually around this time last year, um we did have a snowstorm that rolled through Florida, northern Florida, and it dropped like a foot. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. That was something else. And that day, I mean, I live here. I live in Polk County, Florida. This is where I live. Luckily, it didn't come down. I mean, I would have loved to see snow. Don't get me wrong, but it's just too cold. But it was freezing that day, though. It was like crazy. Yeah, Carrot. That meme is ridiculous. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's just stupid. Just brain rot. I genuinely worry about the new generation. Oh, okay. That son, that changes everything. Michigan and Florida, two literally polar opposites. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I thought you were talking about Florida's peninsula and being down south with the snow, because yeah, they can't really handle all that snow. I mean, a foot of snow is a lot for everybody, but yeah. Goodness. All right. Anyways, look at these little popcorn cells popping off here in eastern Louisiana. So not really a whole lot going on here. These guys don't seem to be anything too crazy. Hopping back to Shreveport. You get a few cluster of storms here. These were rotating cells at one point, which it looks like we do still have maybe a couple upper level mesocyclones here. But this is like 6,500 feet. I mean, a lot can change between there. Yeah, Carrot. It's just, for me, I just thought it was stupid since the beginning of it. I'm like, really? Because everybody knows the other meme with a similar number. But we're not going to get into that right now. That's not for this channel. Maybe my other gaming channel will be a little bit more goofy on stuff like that. But this is mostly family friendly weather. It's a place for weather updates, not for latest trends. By the way, guys, you also check out my other channel. I have like gaming stuff I do there whenever there's not any crazy weather going on. So, anyways. Let's hop over to Texas. Dallas isn't going to be seeing much today. So we do got a bunch of, we got some convection going on out here, but yeah, just normal little storms here. Let's check up on Alabama. Let's go back to, let's go out here by this area here, Columbiana. Just a bunch of blah rain, it looks like. What's my gaming channel called? It's called Tropical Drew. If you go to my main page on this channel, you'll see the second channel there. You can check it out. That's the one I usually just goof off on. Let's see here, we didn't get much rain today in Dallas-Fort Worth. Yeah, Dallas, you guys were kind of in the clear here. We weren't really expecting a whole lot with you y'all. Here, let's bring you guys back over here for a minute. I do want to look at some stuff here. Let's pull up the drought monitor. That's actually something I really wanted to go over here. I keep forgetting to. Wow. A lot of people are very dry. Holy cow, look at this. I know it is here in Florida. Yeah, out by me, we're in a moderate drought. Ugh. Look at Tallahassee. Wow. Extreme drought out there. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the Midwest, a lot of the South is just really, really dry. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be beneficial for a lot of people. What's up, Tiffany? Good to see ya. Let's see here. Is North Carolina okay later on? Depends on which area, because there is some areas of North Carolina that is in the severe weather risk. So for today, we're good. We're not expecting any severe weather or anything like that for North Carolina today. But tomorrow, you know what? They actually lowered the threat. They had that marginal going all the way up to was it Blacksburg earlier this morning that we did the update for. Well, now there's a little sliver. Oh, you're in eastern North Carolina? Well, then, yeah, you're good. There could be a few booms of thunder, though, but nothing severe. But we do have a marginal risk here for a level 1 threat for severe weather, which this includes Murphy, Winsville, Rutherfordton, and we got Shelby there. So, a couple areas of a level 1 threat here for tomorrow. No tornadoes there for that area. 5% wind and no hail. So, but anyways, but yeah, we do have a level 2 threat here. Actually, you know what? They added another 5% chance for tornadoes tomorrow. Look at that. Like Montgomery. See Jackson, south of Birmingham here. I said that right. Okay, good. Thanks for the reassurance. Like I mentioned, guys, if you're new to this channel and you haven't been around here for a while, one thing you guys are going to notice is, first of all, names. I suck at. People names, town names, I never get them right. So you're going to probably hear me say some funky stuff sometimes with these town names and stuff. So don't be surprised if you do, because I suck at these names. They're terrible. Or I'm terrible, I should say, at it. Tiffany says, thank you so much. No problem. You are very welcome. Looks like we'll be needing a live again tomorrow. Yeah, guess so. We'll be here. See here, nobody says Rutherfordton. Well, no, watch me say it wrong now. And I don't blame them. Yeah, it's... Okay, the number 1 evil state for names is Oklahoma, by far. By far, dude. There is no other state that is worse for names, for pronunciation, than Oklahoma. Oklahoma has the craziest name. Anyways, what's up, Moderate? Good to see ya. Tiffany says, could there be a Chinese... sorry, I say Chinese? Could there be... I do that sometimes where I just, say the first few letters of a different word, and then I say the rest of the other word. I have a really bad habit at that, which sometimes doesn't end very well. Could there be a tiny chance of severe weather for eastern North Carolina? Because I love weather, and I want to see a tornado also. I don't think you're going to see a tornado. That I don't think so. But, I mean, right now, the Storm Prediction Center doesn't have you in the risk, and I agree with them. See, and the reason why is because the instability for these storms really starts to thin out once we go that far east. I mean, I'll even show you the models here, kind of show you what we're talking about. So if we look at the weather models, here's the HRRR model. We'll pull up the thermodynamics. We'll do mixed layer CAPE. So this is the fuel. So you see kind of where we're at right now. You see how there's a lot of fuel in the atmosphere. We got quite a bit of energy available, or potential energy. So then we go down in time, here into tomorrow morning. You can see some of that lingers into the south. I mean, we have a little bit of instability out in place, but you can see the values are pretty low, like 1 to 200 MLK, which is very low instability. There's just not really enough instability. I mean, maybe it grows a little bit as it goes off the coast, but I just don't think there's enough fuel for action, essentially. And that's why a lot of the activity here is going to be in the south, like Alabama, like Mississippi and Louisiana, Texas, because that's where a lot of the fuel's at. And on top of it, that's where we also have a lot of the wind shear. A lot of the strong winds and stuff like that. Anyways, see, I got it right again. Okay, good. Yeah, Josh, it can happen from time to time. I've had it do some funky stuff too. Yeah, you're welcome, Tiffany. No problem. And like I said, guys, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be more than happy to help y'all. Hey, that's what we're here for, man. Are we in La Nina? Honestly, I haven't checked in a while. Let me look. Honestly, I mean, it's just been a while. I haven't done a lot of like climatology type stuff in a while. Climatology isn't really my full thing. I like meteorology better. But let me pull up. Actually, tropical tidbits should tell us. Ocean analysis. So La Nina is classified, I believe, for having sea surface temperatures at or below negative 0.5 for 3 months. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened. It looks like we're in La Nina. Yeah, we are. Actually, quite strong La Nina. If we pull up this graph here, you can see the sea surface temperatures. Here's that threshold. So you have the negative 0.5 line to the plus 0.5. So that is the ENSO neutral stage. And then, of course, above that you have the El Nino. And then down below you have the La Nina. So this goes all the way back to October. And you can see October, November, December, now we're in the January. So yeah, this is in the last 3 months. We've been below that negative 0.5. So that officially puts us in a pretty decent La Nina. Yeah. And, La Nina winters bring a lot of things to the table. They can bring some snowy mid-Atlantic conditions. I grew up in the mid-Atlantic, like Virginia, Northern Virginia. It seems like the really good snow years we've gotten La Nina out there. It's just different weather patterns for different people. Yeah, different parts of the world experiences different types of weather. Because you gotta remember, the Pacific Ocean is massive. It plays a significant role in global weather. You heard me, global weather, because I mean the Pacific Ocean's huge. It's massive. Anyways, let's see here. It's hot in North Carolina. Well, my Mesonet says right now it's 72. It was 85 earlier in Central Florida. It was actually a little warm today. Did it, Dylan? Yeah. Let's see here. What's up, Kim? Good to see ya. That's why there's no rain for Texas. Jetstream has changed. Yeah. Is Central Louisiana out of the rain chances? No. Not quite. It's actually still raining in a little bit of the region here. Let's hop you guys back to radar here. So actually, what we're going to do? We're going to bring up the models again here. I'll bring up precipitation. Let's do precip type. Bring this up here. So there's going to be a little bit more rain to come. Tomorrow morning especially. You can see some of it, kind of coming through now. Just a little bit of precip, but yeah, you can see once we approach here into like tomorrow morning, this is like 5 a.m. Eastern, so you're in Central Time, so it'll be about 4 a.m. for you at that particular frame. There'll be more overnight, but a lot of the rain will clear out by tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, a lot of it'll be mostly out. Let's see here. I got you, Josh. Tiffany says, well, I think Eastern North Carolina will have bad severe weather when it's in the prime months. Really good chance, yeah. I mean, a lot of the country throughout, prime severe weather months. I mean, a lot of places do see severe weather. The risks, I mean, it can happen all over. Mostly from the Central Plains eastward sees usually at least one severe weather event. Yeah, mostly. A lot of them are at different times of the year, though. Early stuff. March, April, May. The MAM months are the big ones usually. Those are the ones where you see a lot of severe weather in the plains, the south. Once you work your way into kind of June, July, then that severe weather shifts north. Typically, then you see like the Ohio Valley getting a lot of activity, the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, stuff like that. So, it's different though. It's different for different oscillations, Pacific oscillations like La Nina, El Nino. And there's other variables too. You got the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation. There's a lot of different factors that play a role in just how different weather plays out. And people got to remember that weather patterns exist. They change up, and they do different things at different times. Like for a while here, the West has been getting bombarded with, rain after rainstorm. It's been ridiculous the amount of rain that they've been getting here. Let's see here. We got some big oceans here on Earth. We sure do. It's crazy if you go to the one side of Earth and you look at it from a certain angle, it's all water from the Pacific Ocean. It's crazy. Like, you got to remember, the Earth is mostly water. It is mostly water, or mostly covered in water. It's actually mostly rock, if you want to be specific. But I'm just an idiot. Let's see here. See, I didn't expect this to be in a solid on it. Yeah, I haven't checked it in a while. Like I said, I'm not as much into climatology as I am in meteorology, which, the difference, if you don't know what the difference is, climatology is weather over time. Meteorology is weather in the current state. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just not my cup of tea personally. So usually I don't go as in depth in the climatology on the channel as I do meteorology. I like to cover the now rather than the later. Let's see. Sorry, I keep on asking questions. No, you're good, Tiffany. Ask away. I don't have any problem at all answering any questions. I actually enjoy it. It's what I do. Is Liberty, Mississippi over yet? No. You still have a bit more coming between this evening and tomorrow morning. See, you thought I was gonna be live for it, but I saw blank. You got a head start with coverage. Yeah, I try not to mention other channels because, it's good that, they have other people that are streaming this. It's just a lot of people see those names and then they go leave our channel and then they leave us alone. So it's like, I'm not a big fan of people advertising other channels on my channel, if that makes sense. It goes for anything. Like I said, I'm happy that people do it. I'm glad you have other streamers, but yeah, a lot of you guys get it. Let's see here. Carrot says, same, personally not in this snow much, a little in the climate and mostly severe weather. Yeah, that's fair. My favorite, by far. A lot of you guys, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know my favorite thing to forecast. The tropics. I love forecasting the tropics. That's by far my favorite. Tropical weather, it's actually what I started with years ago when I started forecasting and stuff. I started with the tropics. Some about it, some about it. Tropics, second severe weather, probably. I don't know. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with severe weather. I do it so much. It's gotten to the point where it's like, it's crazy. But I like it. Like I said, love-hate relationship with severe weather forecasting. I don't really like the big bad events, if that makes sense. Like the high risk, the moderate risk. I like the smaller events like today, the ones that are a little bit more chill, because it can quickly become overwhelming. Where you have like 30 plus different tornado warnings going on at once. It's impossible for one guy to go over everything. That's when it gets ridiculous. And that's when it's just super stressful, super overwhelming. Like right now, we have an active severe weather threat for all hazards, but right now it's pretty calm. So that's why we're just doing a lot of nonsense talking right now. I wouldn't call it nonsense talk. It's on the topic of weather, but you guys get it. Yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, my favorite thing by far is tropics, then severe weather. Winter weather can be quite a bit of a challenge because winter weather, I personally think, is the hardest to forecast because you have not only direction of which the storm's going to go, how heavy the precip rate is going to be, but you also got to really pay attention to the thermodynamics, not just on ground level, but also mid upper atmosphere too. Like the temperatures you need to really focus on. It can be a big challenge. Snowfall totals, everything. It's a lot. I think it's the hardest. What's up, D? Good to see you. Saying, hey, Andrew from windy California. I hear you guys are getting some winds out there, huh? Let's see here. You like high risk only when storms are slow moving and last long, because I can take everything in. That's fair, but it can get overwhelming real quickly. You know, as a content creator, as a a weather guy covering these storms, it can get really overwhelming. Let's see here. I have too many emotions over the cover of this big event city context. I don't know how you do it. It gets rough, dude. It really can. I mean, I've seen some stuff that people shouldn't see, when covering these events. It's terrible. Yeah, it just shows you, I mean, how destructive nature can be, Yeah. It's like I said, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. See, Carrot says, I can't imagine how you and other live streamers would deal with super outbreaks. Hopefully, we don't need to see the answer anytime soon. We've seen the answer before. I mean, I wouldn't call them super outbreaks, but we've been through some really crazy outbreaks. I mean, I've covered a lot of high risks before. Some busted, some played out pretty heavily. Let's see. That part, though, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, talk's over. We got a tornado warning, guys. That literally just popped out of nowhere. There you go. All right, everybody, we've got a tornado warning in effect. This is for Riverton and Columbia here. So this is now a new tornado warning. Unfortunately, it's kind of in a bad zone. Ugh, I don't like the looks of that radar. Oh my gosh, dude. Jenny coming in with a 20. Holy cow. Jenny, thank you so much for that. That is greatly appreciated. Give me 1 second. Okay, so guys, we have a tornado warning in effect. So this includes Riverton, Columbia, Louisiana, which this is in the kind of northeastern side here of Louisiana. So heads up to you guys here. Let's see what they said on it. Radar indicated threat. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. So yeah, just make sure you are in the central interior portion on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. All right, now Jenny, thank you so much for the 20. I really, really appreciate that, my friend. That is really, really nice of you. And the money, everything goes, back in the channel for a lot of programs and stuff. It means a lot, and also helps the cost of living, given how crazy it is. So thank you so much, Jenny, for the support. It really does help me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Big shout out to you. And if you guys could, please give Jenny a big thank you. I literally just said, "Oh, yeah." It's like all the fun in games are over. Enough chit chat. But like I said, I mean, this is one warning. I can talk about this, every minute or so, and it's not overwhelming. But then you get those real big outbreaks, like we were talking about. Those ones have like 20 plus tornado warnings on them. I've had those. Those I hate covering. I ain't gonna lie. Those ones are ridiculous. There is even, I don't know if any of you guys remember this. There was a couple of streams here in the past that, it's gotten so overwhelming that mentally it messes with me. The damage that we got out of these storms and the sheer number. There's been a time where I had to literally step back because of how crazy it got. That's not a good thing, but it happens, unfortunately. Anyways. Oh my goodness, Jenny coming in with a 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Jenny. Greatly appreciated. Once again, everybody, like I said, Riverton and Columbia, I need you guys in your shelters here. Dude, Jenny, thank you so much for that. That is really, really sweet of you for all the kind love and support. So Hasden, let's see here. Was it Yekno? Is that how you say your name? Queen, Leaky Eye, Dixie. Congrats, y'all. Was it May 18th, one of those days of last year? Yeah, I remember specifically there was one day last year that I had to step back because Carrot, you were there. Now that I remember that, you were there. I'm pretty sure. I remember you being there because I had to step back and you were in the chat still saying that he had to go for a minute because yeah, it happens. Some days I have like really stressful days and others it's a little different, but yeah, man. I mean, I am human after all. I mean, I do have emotions, believe it or not. Anyways, but yeah, once again, everybody, Riverton and Columbia, Louisiana here. Was it Greenberg? I really don't remember. That's the thing. I have a really bad memory at remembering past events and stuff. Jenny, you too. You as well, my friend. Let's see. I've been tracking since late 22. I've seen 4 high-risk events. However, the worst outbreaks I cover usually end up being moderate risk somehow. Like, yeah, I got you. How long have I been doing this here? I mean, I've been studying meteorology since I was since like 2012, I think. God, dude, I don't even remember. I started YouTube, not on this channel. I had another channel where I posted a couple weather videos every now and then. Probably 2016 is when I started putting videos out. I think I don't even want to go back to it. It's incredibly embarrassing on my first videos, so I'm just not even going to mention the channel name. It's out there. That's all you need to know. It's bad. Greensburg horrified me personally. Maybe it was Greenberg or Greensburg. Let's see here. Yeah, Kevin. March 31st was a moderate risk up until a few hours before the event. Yeah. Well, I remember April 2nd. That was my birthday. I remember that because it was my birthday. And that was at high risk that we had. Literally, I was like on my birthday of all days. It had to be on my birthday. Anyways, let's hop back to velocity here. Like I said, radar data is kind of a little iffy right now. I mean, you could see kind of where that couplet's at, kind of out there by Riverton and Columbia. But this is scanning 7,000 feet up. This is pretty high up. Let me try Shreveport radar, maybe. It might be just a little bit better here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, between Columbia and Riverton, that's where the rotation's at. But this one's scanning 8,500 feet up. So we're scanning a little bit high because, the storm's away from the radars here, which is kind of in a radar hole, unfortunately. Also, Hurricane Melissa. Maybe it was Melissa that I had to step back for. I did a heck of a lot of coverage on Melissa. We did a lot of coverage on Melissa. Forecasting it days before it happened. Yeah, Melissa was crazy. A lot of your posts were awesome. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it. Yeah, big shout out to Jenny. Jenny was. I know your name's not Jenny, isn't it? Isn't it Jeannie? Isn't it Jeannie? I've just always called you Jenny since day one, and that's probably never going to change. So I hope you don't mind. But Jenny has been around here since like I've had only a couple hundred subscribers. Like she is an OG to this channel. Like she's been around for years and years and years and years. Probably like since 2021. I think you might have been here since 2021. See, it's a bit odd for rotation. Very separate from the rain core. It's like I said, it doesn't help that it's far away from the radar either. I mean, this thing is what? 90 miles. 90 nautical miles from it. Oh, yeah, Carrot. That's what it was. Absolutely. There's been other events where I had to do that, though, too. So, Anyways, people, once again, Riverton, Columbia, Louisiana, we need you guys in your shelter here. We've got a tornado warning in effect. If you know anybody out here, give them a heads up. Be like, hey, got a tornado warning here. You know, you don't want to give it a chance. You don't want to give these storms a chance here. You know, we do need you guys in your safe spots. So, anyways. So we'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop here. Other than that, we do not have any more active severe weather or anything like that. Oh my gosh, dude. Are you serious? Jenny coming in with a $50 super chat, dude. Oh my goodness. Dude. Jenny, thank you so much for that. You really did not have to do that. Oh my gosh. Y'all, please in chat give Jenny a big thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Dude, thank you so much. Jenny said you're the best. No, Jenny, you are. Seriously, thank you for that. Holy cow. Yeah, if you guys could, please give Jenny a big thank you. Melissa had a very high ceiling. Everyone was on it. Yeah. That storm was ridiculous. That storm was crazy. That was the storm of 2025. That'll stand out to be the most craziest event I think we covered. Once again, everybody, Riverton and Columbia, Louisiana, we need you guys in your shelters here because we do have a tornado warning in effect. Like I said, radar coverage sucks on this storm because it's far away. So, by the way, this is not a debris signature. This is just a bunch of scattered. This is likely ice crystals that the radar is kind of hitting and scattering out. But dude, once again, Jenny, thank you for that. Seriously, that means the world to me, and it'll definitely help us out a ton. So thank you so much. What's up, Ace? Good to see you, dude. It's been a minute. Looks like tomorrow may be another severe storm day. Yeah, there's a 5% tomorrow too. Yeah, we'll be here to cover that too. Not sure what time. We'll just have to see what happens. I've been getting up pretty early. I've been getting up at like 6 o'clock every morning. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna be up a little bit later today. Shoot, we've already been streaming 2 hours. It doesn't feel like that. We've been live for a while today. Actually, we streamed earlier too for a little bit. I think I got 3 hours of coverage in today. Pretty good. What a boss. Absolutely. Jenny is so goated. Let's see, that's for the QLCS overnight. Should carry into tomorrow's time range. Yep. Yeah. This event's kind of interesting. It's like every type of storm mode all in one. You got some pockets of multicellular. You got some pockets of kind of embedded cells and stuff like that. So anyways. Let's see here. Stalemate says the title says "quote unquote" ongoing tornado, yet there's nothing suggesting one ongoing currently. I don't think it says ongoing tornado. It says urgent tornado coverage. Dude, the title says ongoing tornado, hail, and wind damage threat. It doesn't say there's an ongoing tornado, but we do have an ongoing tornado warning if that counts. But that's not what you got to read the full title, dude. Anyways, Riverton, Columbia, be sure you're in your shelters. Once again, like I said, poor radar coverage right here because it's just far away from both radar sites. I mean, we have the Shreveport radar, which we're looking at now, and then we have the KPOE, which, I mean, both of these are a good 90 to 100 miles away. So, no, you're good, Stalemate. Don't worry. No, you just gotta read the whole thing. It doesn't say ongoing tornado. I wouldn't do that. I'm not like some of these other YouTubers. I'm not saying any names, but there's a few of them that would, which is wrong in my opinion. Definitely a couple though. Yeah, we got some upper level stuff. Some upper level meso activity here in the storm. Looks like that kind of passed between Riverton and Columbia, which now, where that rotation's at right here, this is 8,700 feet up, which is 92 nautical miles from the radar. Let's see. Nah, stalemate. Don't worry about it, dude. You're good. You good, you good. Let's see, what did they say on that, actually? They said radar indicated rotation. Yeah, it's a radar indicated threat. You know, like I said before, guys, I don't care if it's radar indicated or radar confirmed. You still need to be in your shelter. Don't wait till it's confirmed. Seriously. I know a lot of people are like, well, we don't know if it's on the ground or not. It's like, it doesn't matter. It can happen. So be sure you're in your shelter regardless. I cannot tell you how much it annoys me of how many people ignore these warnings whenever they really do need to be like taking these seriously. And like I said, they don't put these warnings out for nothing. I mean, yes, some tornado warnings don't produce, but it's better to be in your shelter than not. Anyways, we got ourselves a new warning extension here now for Alto and Archibald. Is that how you say it? Archibald? And Mangham. Goodness, got some weird names. Mangham, Archibald, and Alto. Also, Rayville included too. Which, by the way, this is in northeast Louisiana. Yeah, Kevin, for sure. Let's see. Don't wait till you see a major rule of thumb. They can touch down so fast. Yep, they really can. Even between radar scans. I think radar updates every, like 3 to 5 minutes, every scan. And a lot can happen within that time frame, you know, because thing is there's multiple tilts on the radar. I don't know if you see this. You see this box over here? You got 0.3 degree inclination. So it's the beam angle. So basically, you know, the reason why it's every 5 minutes or so is because it's got to do a sweep at 0.3, change its angle, do a sweep at 0.5, change its angle. It's constantly running, but it's got to scan everything. It doesn't do it all in one pass. So, oh my goodness. But like I said, y'all, Alto, Archibald, and Mangham. Summer EF2 tornado in April didn't produce debris signature at first, then CC immediately exploded. Was that funky looking one that there was one tornado that had like that eye almost. I don't know. Do you guys? I'm sure one of you guys could probably figure out which one that was. Like I said, I'm not a walking storm encyclopedia. I can't, figure out what event was which, unless it's like significant, like I say. But there was one event where we had this tornado and it had like an eye, almost. It was like literally like a land hurricane. I mean, it had like an eye and everything, which is crazy. Quote unquote eye. I forgot which one that was though. But anyways, everybody, once again, heads up to Riverton, Columbia, Mangham, Archibald, and Alto. Also, Rayville here included. You remember that one, but you don't know where it was? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. My memory's terrible when it comes to those. Really not good. Eastern Texas, we got a bunch of chicken nugget storms popping off here. You can see they're kind of fairly close to one another here, but they're currently not severe. The only severe storm we have right now is the one up here in northeast Louisiana. See, it could take a while for tornadoes to loft debris up to radar high. Oh yeah, I mean, it ranges. I mean, honestly, seeing how high debris goes can tell you a lot about the strength of a storm. So it's crazy. I've seen debris go 25,000 feet up. and greater. I mean, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, so that rotation, y'all, at this point in time is likely past Riverton and Columbia. I mean, remember, this is scanning 8,800 feet, almost 9,000 feet up. A lot. The circulation could be in the lower levels at a different, different place. But at this point in time, it's pretty much safe to say that the rotation's kind of out of Riverton and Columbia. I still need you guys in your shelter because you're in the polygon. The rule of thumb, what I go off of, is if you're in the polygon, you need to take action. Even if the storm is kind of looking like it passed through, you never know. It's for safety. Yeah, as long as you're in that polygon, you need to be in your safe spot. Anyways, we'll bring up this this view as well for you guys. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the radar coverage is just terrible here. Because we have the KPOE radar right here. We have the KSHB radar here. We have this one. All these are radar sites here, right? And in the storm we're tracking like right in here. It's like literally right between all these radars. which we need to get a radar out by like Monroe or somewhere nearby. We just need a new radar somewhere out there because it's a pretty active spot for severe weather. Would definitely be quite useful if we could actually have one. Anyways, let's go ahead and enable these warnings here. Let's see how much longer we have that. So we have an hour left on that one. And we got 20 minutes left on the one for Columbia. And then what's my favorite significant tornado event? I have none. Reason being is because they cause destruction and problems. So I don't like any of them that cause damage. All right. Once again, everybody, Riverton, Columbia. Once again, this is northeast Louisiana here. So if you know anybody out there, Riverton, Columbia area, also Alto, Archibald, and Mangham. Also Rayville. Make sure y'all are in your safe spots. The tornado with the eye was in Joplin, Missouri, in 2011. No. I mean, it could have been, but there was one recently within the last year, actually. I think it was last year that had like that eye look to it. It was weird. I really wish I remember what storm that was, dude. That's gonna bother me, man. Strong meso loft is all I can say. Absolutely. And like I said, the thing is that you can have mid-level circulation, but it could not correlate to the surface or near ground level. Like I said, a lot can happen over 10,000 feet, but it's just safe to have them go ahead and issue the warning to be sure that it doesn't go down to those levels. It's just because the radars are physically unable to, because of curvature of the earth and beam decay, essentially. Not to mention altitude at which the return comes back from. It's just the best way of solving that is just putting a new radar in the area. Was it Hollister, Oklahoma in 24? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research on it because it's going to bother me. It will. 100%. All right, let's see here. Also, they do have quarter-size hail on that new tornado warning as well. Should probably mention that. So for the warning for Mangham, let's see, Rayville. Where was the other area for? Alto. This also includes Charlieville, Buckner, Gillyville, Four Forks. Yeah, these areas are in that as well. Here, let me bring up this velocity scan on this one here. It's got a different color table than mine. Yeah, I mean, definitely got some low mid-level circulation going on within that storm. Once again, it's just good that they have that warning in place there. It's needed. Let's see, people don't seem to understand radar. Even mobile Doppler has serious limitation when trying to estimate tornadic winds. Yeah, it's estimation. It's never approximation. I mean, a lot of things are like that, actually. I'm just waiting for the new radar update. We're a little overdue. We had the WSR, was it 5070? The one that came out in the late 50s. It had like poor quality. And then they upgraded the WSR 88D. So these Doppler radars have been in service since like the late 80s, early 90s. They've just been upgraded over the years. So they've been in service for like well over 30 years. Like 40 years, actually, almost. So they just waiting for the new iteration of radars, which probably not. I mean, kind of more realistically, they'll probably just update the radars more, because that'd be a lot of money. All right, let's see here. All right, we got 45 minutes on the one for Mingham. Yeah, I mean, like I said, unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot that we can really see, within the storm. At this point, we just got to kind of rely on the report that comes with it, See the curvature of the earth, it's a lot. Actually, that's what we just mentioned here a minute ago. Yeah. Yep, for sure. The beam's not linear. Yeah, people got to remember the beam is not linear. I mean, with the curvature of the earth, it kind of bends up towards the end. The radar tech is cool and all, but yeah, like you said, it does have severe limitations. And we're kind of seeing some of the flaws in the far distance here. Let's see, tornado. Oh, did they issue a watch? Oh, they sure did. Yep, look at that. Expires in 8 hours. We have a 50% chance for tornadoes. Is that for one or more tornadoes, 50% chance. Probability of, 10 or more significant wind events? Or sorry, not significant. 10 or more wind events in general. 40% chance, and 20% chance for hail there. Let's see. All right, let's check out east here. We have a little bit of convection still in eastern Texas here. Yeah, all this is non-severe stuff. Yeah, just be sure you guys are, staying safe out there. Just keep weather radio on if you guys have one. It's very important. Ensuring that you guys are, getting these warnings here. That's the most important thing. We have Columbia, tornado warning in effect for northeast Louisiana, for Riverton, Hebert, Bellevue, and Columbia Heights here too. This one has 13 minutes ago. Radar indicated threat. And the one northeast of that, we have Mingham, Rayville. Let's see here, Gillyville, Four Forks, and Buckner. You guys are in that there too. I mean, I still can't believe we had that EF5 last year. Finally broke the drought, dude. That was crazy. After, 12 years? Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't see that in my bingo cards, honestly. I mean, it's been just so long since we've actually had one. We've had some real close calls, though. Like, I want to say Mayfield was really close. I mean, that was high in EF4. Let's see here. Most homes are not well built. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for the big high end ones, like you need like really big, well built structures, like buildings. You know, if it's like a, you know, like kind of like a residential home area, that wouldn't really be able to tell us if it's really an EF5 or EF4. Typically, that's like if, or especially EF5. That's like once it hits like a big building or something, something that's like well structurally anchored and built and like concrete and stuff like that. Once that gets like slabbed, and that's when that happens. Conditions have got to be met for you to have it. I mean, a great example was El Reno. You know, Dow, the Doppler on wheels, was it measured 302 mile an hour winds inside of the storm, which is like the highest we've ever recorded. But it just simply didn't hit anything big enough to classify it that. Because, I mean, the scale is strictly off of the damage that it does. Anyways, enough of that. Enough of that. All right, they did cancel that one warning for Columbia. That's no longer there. But we still do have that tornado warning for Alto and Archibald. Also, Mangham here, too. Alrighty. But yeah, guys, I do plan on streaming again tomorrow for y'all. Because, like I said, we do have a 5% tornado risk here for tomorrow, too. So we'll be sure to hop on here and stream that. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to stream here. I'm probably going to be heading off here pretty soon. I mean, we've been live almost 2.5 hours here, which isn't a whole lot, but I've done a lot of things today. Like I said, I did so much content on both channels today, so it's wild. So, but yeah, we streamed earlier for a while, dude. Did a little bit of coverage then, but and like I said, this storm in particular is just kind of out of the radar view, so it's a little bit tricky. There's really not much information I could really tell. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't believe that insurance thing. I don't want to get political and start arguments in the chat or anything over it, but it's just I don't know. I think we've had some close calls. I just think simply it's there wasn't enough damage indicators to indicate that strong of a tornado until that one tornado last year where it did hit something that classify it that big. Doesn't mean that they weren't that scale. It just means that they didn't cause the damage physically to be of classified of that scale, if that makes sense. While the storm, there was likely storms of similar strength being EF5. Once again, it's strictly reliant off of the damage that they produce. It is not off of the wind speeds that they find in radar. Like the Dow. No, it's directly correlated in the damage. All right, everybody. Well, I hate to do this, dude. I really want to stay on longer, but honestly, I really need to get to bed here. I've been up since 6 o'clock. I'm a little bit tired for one. I mean, like I said, radar coverage here is kind of getting meh. But I will be here tomorrow. And honestly, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, if things are popping off, I'm gonna go live again for you guys. I'm gonna stream regardless tomorrow, so I'll be sure to to be here, but yeah, I think a quick little 2.5 hour stream for coverage was pretty good. Just be sure you guys stay safe out there tonight. All right, make sure you have a way to get warnings. No weather radio if you turn it on. There's other YouTubers and stuff like that out there too that you guys could, check out. But anyways, I feel guilty, dude. I really feel guilty ending these streams because, like, I don't know. I just feel bad. So I apologize for that. But all right, everybody. Well, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for the kind love and support. We love you guys here. Just y'all be careful. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for more coverage here and everything like that. But all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care, and we'll see y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.